Thank you for that kind introduction, President Moorhead. And good morning, distinguished faculty, my colleagues, proud families and friends, and most importantly, good morning, you extraordinary graduates. Before I get started with the official speechifying part of this, I want you to pause and look around you. I want you to look at all the pretty colors, look around you at the faces, the people who walked through fire with you, your friends and your families. I want you to think of all you went through to get here today, about all what they went through to get you here to this point, and I want you to acknowledge that and clap for that. Okay, here's the official part. Congratulations, class of 2025, you survived graduate school. Did you know that less than 13% of the US population has a master's degree? And as for a specialist in education degree, well, that's fewer than 0.5%. So that means you are a member of a very special group of people. You're kind of a big deal. And yet, some of you may not feel like it because getting here was not glamorous. You've survived many, many caffeine-fueled nights, and for some of you, you survived the writing of your thesis through multiple revisions and corrections and re-revisions and re-corrections, and right about like draft 17, you were possibly asking yourself, why did I do this to myself? Possibly out loud, possibly in public. The truth is, graduate school is not for the faint of heart. It's like signing up to climb a mountain and finding out halfway up that mountain is a volcano, and the volcano is erupting. And then they hand you a stack of papers and tell you to read them and make 3 new papers from them, all the while dodging the lava. And yet here you are, standing at the summit of that mountain. Maybe a little singed, maybe a little stunned, definitely sleep-deprived, but stronger, wiser, and equipped with one of the most powerful things that you can have, not just knowledge, but a unique perspective and the satisfaction of knowing that you accomplished something that very few have been able to achieve. This moment is more than just a milestone, it's a launch pad for your flight into the future. But what if it doesn't feel like a launch? What if it feels like you're standing on a cliff with nothing but fog in front of you and darkness below? I speak from experience because I've been there. I'm a proud graduate of this university, PhD from the Department of Pathology at the College of Veterinary Medicine, and as challenging as the grad school experience was for me, even more challenging were the choices that I had to make after graduation. Everyone had advice. Maybe you've heard some of it. The first job you take sets the course for the rest of your career, so be careful what you choose. Stick with the research you've already started. You have already established yourself in that area. Stay in your lane. Well, my dissertation was on the role of Pasteurella maltosa, the lipopolysaccharide, in the pathogenesis of endotoxemia in turkey poults. And even though I had a wonderful major professor and an amazing committee, the only thing that I knew for sure after defending is that I never wanted to work with turkey poults again. Not ever. My true interest lay in a group of inherited neurological diseases, conditions shared by both animals and humans, and my goal was that if I could understand these diseases, not only would I help the animals, but I could find ways to help people as well, a concept that is now known as One Health that was never talked about back then. In fact, I was so fascinated by these diseases that I already published a paper on one of them called neuroaxonal dystrophy in cats while still working on my dissertation. That was the direction I wanted to go in. But when I shared this idea with others, they raised their eyebrows. Just about everybody told me this was a really bad idea. Working in the area of animal models and human disease is hard, they said. Maintaining animal colonies too expensive. Funding for animal models usually goes to MD, medical doctors, not to veterinarians, because no one really understands what it is that veterinarians do when it comes to research. Do what we say, what others have done before us. Stay in your lane. But even back then, I was not very good at lane staying. You see, graduate school is not just about acquiring knowledge. It's about creating knowledge. It's about transformation. It's about pushing yourself beyond limits that you once thought were fixed. What I knew that my graduate education had given me was not just how to be an expert on one subject. It gave me the tools to be a researcher in any subject. It taught me how to ask questions, how to test theories, how to communicate with others who are different from me, how to persist through uncertainty. And so I listened, not to everyone else, but to myself, to what my graduate education had taught me. I reached out to researchers outside of my department, outside of my college, outside of the university, outside of veterinary medicine. I contacted MD and PhD researchers at Duke University, University of Minnesota, Medical College of Georgia, Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia. I presented my neuroaxonal paper at medical conferences. I forged alliances, built collaborations, found mentors, and slowly but surely, I made inroads into the area of research that truly fulfilled me. And 30 years later, I am so glad I persisted and persevered. But if I'm being honest, I'm making that sound just a little easier than it really was. Flying into the future sounds poetic, noble, brave, but in reality, it's kind of terrifying. The little voice that says, "But what if you fail?" is always there. But along with it, for me anyway, was another voice, a voice that said, "But what if you fly?" And the truth is, there is no flight manual for what comes after grad school. There's no GPS that tells you what job will fulfill you, what city will feel like home, and how to balance your ambition with your joy. The only thing you have is you, your instinct, your grit, your weirdly specific area of research that may someday change the world, or at least help you win some points at trivia night. For example, did you know that the response of turkeys to anaphylaxis is closer to humans than any other mammalian species? I rest my case. But here's the thing. Baby birds don't wait for the wind to be perfect before they leap from the nest. Pilots don't get to see the entire route before takeoff, and neither will you. You've got to trust your wings, even if they still feel brand new. So now I want you to take a moment and say this to yourself. I am going to fly. Better yet, let me see if I can get you to say it with me. I am going to fly. Louder, I can't hear you. Say it. I am going. See that? That's liftoff. You've already proven that you can survive long nights, answer hard questions, and still do meaningful work. You've already stared down doubts and deadlines, imposter syndrome, and sleepless nights, so why shrink to fit someone else's definition of success? Don't play small to make others comfortable, and don't let others determine how high you can go. The world doesn't need more people following scripts. It needs more people writing them. And yes, you stumble. Lord knows I did. You'll hit turbulence. You may even crash land once or twice. But the beauty of flying isn't in never falling or never failing. Like with that baby bird, it's in learning to rise again with your wings a little stronger every time. So here's my call to action to you. You're called to what I call being. And it's not just for your career, it's for your entire lives. Be the voice that says yes to ideas that no one else sees yet. Be the one who doesn't ask for permission to dream loudly. Be the kind of person who lifts others as you rise. And most of all, be the person who dares to leap even when the path isn't clear. My dad once told me, success is the road you have to travel with intention. So be intentional about your flight path. Know your excellence. You have something in your profession that statistically very few people in this world have. Make sure the rest of the world values it and values you for it. Today marks an end of a journey that very few dare to begin, and even fewer have the grit and passion to finish. And now you've done it, and this is your time to fly. In the musical Wicked, there's a song that many of us know. It's called Defying Gravity. I love that play, that movie, that song. It's more than just a Broadway showstopper. It's an anthem of becoming, of being. It's what happens when someone chooses not to be defined by others' expectations or even their own fear. It's a moment when Elphaba, the so-called Wicked Witch, realizes that following the rules won't ever let her be who she was meant to be. She says, I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so. And graduates, haven't you lived that truth? You defy the limits of exhaustion, of uncertainty, of balancing research with real life. You defied the voice that said you weren't smart enough, resilient enough, worthy enough, but now you know you are enough. You've challenged preconceived notions, questioned assumptions, dared to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. And most importantly, you bet on yourselves, and that's what your degree stands for. It's not just a piece of paper, it's your broomstick. It's that symbol of your right to rise, to challenge the status quo, to lead, to teach, to heal, to create, to innovate, to discover, to diagnose, and yes, to fly. And yes, there will be gravity always, the pull of expectations, the weight of tradition, but the gift of this moment, of everything you have learned and everything you have earned, is that you now know you can defy it and rise anyway. Although the path ahead won't always be smooth, there's one thing grad school has taught you, and it's this: you are stronger than you think. And when you leap, not despite the fear, but because you know who you are now, you won't fall, at least not for long. And in the end, you'll soar. So in closing, here's my wish for you, you extraordinary graduates. Don't let anyone clip your wings, especially not yourself. Go where you're called. Fly towards what scares you. Dream bigger than is comfortable, and build the world that you can believe in. It's your turn now to defy gravity and never look back. Soar onward, upward always, because this is your time to fly. Congratulations again, and thank you.